Imagine this. You walk into a coffee shop. All around you, people are speaking English. The barista greets a customer with a smile. Hey, how's your day going? Two friends at the table nearby are laughing about something funny that happened at work. Someone behind you is on the phone, planning a trip, saying, I can't wait to see the beach this weekend. Now, imagine being able to understand every single word. No confusion, no hesitation, just clear, natural English flowing straight into your mind. Wouldn't that feel incredible? The truth is, this is not just a dream. It's something you can achieve. And the way to get there is simpler than you think. It doesn't start with grammar drills or memorizing vocabulary lists. The real secret, the superpower, is listening. And in the next few minutes, you're going to discover why listening is the key that unlocks the entire English language. Listening is powerful because it's how humans naturally learn language. Think about babies. They don't sit with grammar books or spelling tests. They don't take lessons on irregular verbs. What do? They listen. Day after day, they hear the voices of their parents, friends, and family. At first, they don't understand. But little by little, the words begin to make sense. Eventually, they repeat what they've heard. And before anyone teaches them a rule, they're already speaking fluently. That same process works for you. When you listen to English consistently, you give your brain the chance to absorb patterns, rhythm, and expressions without effort. Instead of struggling to translate, your mind begins to recognize meaning directly. And this isn't just theory, it's how your brain is wired. We are built to learn through listening. It's the gateway to natural fluency. And once you embrace it, English starts to feel less like a subject in school and more like a living, breathing language. Textbooks often show perfect, slow, and formal English. But the real world? It's fast, informal, and full of shortcuts. People say, gonna, instead of going to. They say, what's up, instead of how are you. They drop words, they connect sounds, and they speak with rhythm that no grammar book can capture. Listening exposes you to this living English. It trains your ear to hear not just the words, but the way they're used in real life. Imagine watching a movie and suddenly understanding the jokes without subtitles. Or listening to a podcast and realizing you followed the story from start to finish without needing to pause. That's the power of listening. It bridges the gap between the English you study and the English people actually speak. And when you practice enough, you won't just understand, you'll be able to respond naturally because the language will already feel familiar. Now, let's be honest. Listening isn't always easy. At the beginning, it can feel frustrating. You hear a sentence, but only catch one or two words. You might think, this is too fast, I'll never understand. But here's the secret. Not understanding everything is actually good for you. Why? Because it forces your brain to search for patterns, to focus on context, to connect the dots. It's like training at the gym. At first, the weights feel too heavy. But little by little, you grow stronger. When you listen to English and don't get every word, don't panic. Instead, listen for the main idea. If someone says, this morning I woke up late, skipped breakfast, and ran to catch the bus, you don't need to understand every detail. Just pick up morning, breakfast, bus, and suddenly the story makes sense. Your brain is smarter than you think. With time, it will fill the gaps automatically. So, how do you make listening work for you? The key is to turn it into a habit. Start small. Just 10 minutes a day. Listen while you're cooking, cleaning, or walking. Choose something you enjoy. Music, movies, YouTube videos, or podcasts. The more you enjoy it, the more consistent you'll be. Another strategy is repetition. Don't just listen once. The first time, focus on the main idea. The second time, notice new words or phrases. By the third or fourth time, you'll start catching details you missed before. Repetition builds familiarity, and familiarity builds confidence. Try shadowing. Repeat what you hear, almost like an echo. Pause a video after one sentence and say it yourself. This improves pronunciation, rhythm, and fluency at the same time. And don't forget accents. Start with one that feels comfortable, maybe American or British English. But later, challenge yourself with different accents, like Australian or Irish. This will train your ear to adapt and prepare you for real conversations with people from all over the world. The results of daily listening are powerful. First, vocabulary grows naturally. Instead of memorizing long lists, you learn words in context. For example, you might hear, "I'm starving," and understand it means very hungry without needing a dictionary. Second, grammar becomes automatic. When you hear sentences like, "I've been waiting all day," again and again, you don't need to study the grammar rule. You just know it sounds right. Third, your pronunciation improves. English spelling can be tricky, but listening teaches you the real sounds. For example, Wednesday isn't pronounced the way it's written. It sounds like Wednesday. Listening saves you from mistakes and helps you sound natural. And finally, confidence. Every time you understand something new, it feels like a victory. You think, "Wow, I really got that." That little boost pushes you to keep going, to listen more, and even to start speaking. Listening doesn't just improve your English, it transforms the way you feel about using the language. Let me tell you a quick story. A friend of mine was learning English and loved cooking. Instead of studying textbooks, she started watching cooking shows in English every day. At first, she barely understood anything. She would only catch words like onion, salt, pan, but she kept going. After a few weeks, she realized something incredible. She could follow an entire recipe without subtitles. She didn't know every word, but she understood the steps, the ingredients, and even the little jokes the chef made. This gave her so much confidence that she started talking about recipes in English with friends online. Suddenly, English wasn't just something she was learning, it was something she was living. That's the magic of listening. It turns learning into real-life experience. Here's another secret. Accents matter, but they shouldn't scare you. English sounds different depending on where it's spoken. In the US, people might say water with a strong D sound. Water. In the UK, it often sounds more like watu. In Australia, it might sound even quicker. Wada. At first, this can be confusing, but it's actually a gift. Because the more accents you hear, the stronger your listening becomes. You train your brain to recognize words no matter how they're pronounced. And it's not just about sounds. Each accent carries its own culture, expressions, and humor. Americans might say awesome, the British might say brilliant, and Australians might say mate. Listening to different accents helps you connect with people from all over the world. So don't avoid accents, embrace them. They make your English stronger, richer, and more adaptable. But listening is not just about words, it's about people. When you listen, you don't just hear sounds, you feel emotions. You hear excitement in someone's voice, or sadness, or humor. That's what makes conversations alive. Imagine watching a movie in English and not only understanding the dialogue, but also catching the sarcasm, the tension, the laughter. Suddenly, you're not just learning a language, you're experiencing culture. This connection is powerful. It makes English more than just something you study. It becomes something you live. It brings you closer to people, to their stories, and to their way of life. And the more you listen, the more connected you'll feel. Not just to the language, but to the world. So here's the truth. Listening is not just practice. It's your superpower. It's the quiet skill that builds every other part of your English. Your vocabulary, your grammar, your pronunciation, your confidence. But like any superpower, it only grows when you use it. You don't need hours every day. Start with 5 minutes. Put on a podcast, a song, or a short video. Little by little, increase the time. Be consistent. Every minute counts. And remember this, every time you press play, you're not just learning English. You're stepping closer to fluency, to connection, to confidence. So don't wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is now. Press play, listen, and let English become a part of your life.